Hey everybody, Jane here, and I want to talk to you about my goals for 2025. So, these goals I have personal, reading, and writing. And let's start with the personal. I will put timestamps below in case you want to skip around. I'll try to keep the personal ones fairly brief. My biggest personal goal that impacts the rest of these goals is to focus on my health and happiness. So, what exactly does that mean? Well, I had bariatric surgery last year, and that has definitely changed my outlook on how I take care of myself. And so it's very important to me to continue to make sure I'm going to the gym, to make sure I'm eating nutritious foods, and to make sure I'm getting enough sleep. In addition to all this, I also want to make sure that I am prioritizing my mental health. Last year, I had some times where I was really struggling, and part of it was surgery related, and part of it was family stuff. And it just was kind of a rough year. And I want to make sure that going into 2025, I am really prioritizing my physical and mental health. That is going to be my top priority. So even though I'm making goals in other categories, if those goals, don't mesh with the taking care of your well being, the other goals are going to be pushed aside because this year is going to be all about my best health. Another thing I would like to get done by the end of the year, I don't know if we will, but we'll see, is I would love to be able to limit, because I can't quit, but limit my side jobs. So right now, I work full time and I love that job and I'm going to keep that no matter what. But I also do freelance work for two different clients, and I will probably keep doing that as well. I enjoy that work, and it doesn't generally interfere with my life most of the time. I am also a DoorDasher. This is the job that I think I would like to give up if we're at a place in life where we could. It is lovely because if we need extra funds, I can bring it in pretty quickly. Just take a DoorDash shift. If we're wanting to take a vacation or the kids want to go to a movie or something, just sign up for a DoorDash shift. And while that is lovely, it can be a lot. And I would like to do that a little less in the future. So I want to set myself up well this year so that DoorDashing is not as important in our lives. And I will do that by, still working on paying off my student loans and a few things like that. So financial goals, I'm not going to get into detail here because this is the internet and it's not that important, but I would like to DoorDash in 2025 and then stop in 2026. We'll see. Also, of course, I sell books on Pango. I do want to continue to do that because I need to get the books that I read out the door, but I need to get better at that because one of my challenges has been I have all these books that need listed and then put away so that they're on the Pango website. So I need to prioritize getting that done and staying caught up with things like that. Again, if I have the mental capacity to do that. And once I get caught up, to stay caught up. And of course, the last business I have is my writing business. And that, of course, is staying. And I really would love 2025 to be a thriving year for that. So anyway, personal goals, make it so I work less and am healthier with a priority on mental health. Reading goals. And this is probably what most of you are most interested in. I'm going to read 100 books in 2025. That's really my typical goal and something I usually accomplish. I do count audiobooks, I do count manga, I do count graphic novels. So this is not a huge, lofty goal. It is something I generally meet unless I am having terrible struggles. So I have no expectations that I won't meet that. Another thing that I am wanting to do, and this is a little bit harder, is I want to really focus this year on reading from my shelf. And I said that last year. My goal last year was to read 50% of owned books. And I realized that goal didn't work for a couple reasons. One being that I was reading a lot of manga. And the manga come from my library. They're things that are short and quick and easy. And a lot of times when I didn't have the mental capacity to pick up a regular bigger, complicated book off my shelf. I was just grabbing a graphic novel and reading it and enjoying it. And I don't want to limit myself and say, you can't read graphic novels or manga from the library until you read a novel from your shelf, which is kind of, I think, what my mindset was going in the beginning of the year, but I don't want to do that to myself. But that being said, I still want to really focus on owned books. The way I'm planning on counteracting that this year is I have some ideas for videos that I'm going to use my owned shelves for. So I'm very excited about that. I have a lot of ideas for content that I'm super excited about, and I want to really focus on that content coming from my owned shelves. So I think that'll be great for me, great for you, because I get to read books and send them off. The books behind me all are going to Pango, so if you think, oh, that doesn't seem like a lot of books, those are books I'm done with that we're done with. I actually, in this room, have 3 shelves of books that are completely full, and I have books like going up the shelves to my ceilings. I have spots in the room that actually have stacks of books as well. I won't show you because it's a disorganized mess, if we're being honest. I don't have the pretty booktuber shelves. I have chaotic booktuber shelves. That being said, I want to read them so that I can make room on my shelves and get my shelves under control. And also, books that I'm not going to enjoy, get them off the shelves. There's no reason to let books that are going to be DNFs take up space longer than they have to be. I do want to also, in that realm, limit my use of the library. Last year, I said the same thing, and I ended up still using my library a lot. And I want to give myself grace. I want to be able to do manga and graphic novels from the library because those are very expensive things to buy and things that I don't have a lot of, but that I really am enjoying. I also want to continue to get audiobooks from my library, kind of for the same reason. So I don't want to get very many paperbacks from my library or hardbacks, physical books, unless there is no other option to read them. So I want to be focusing physical books on my owned books, and then all the other things I can get from the library, and then I'll only get physical books from the library if it's something that I absolutely can't find any other way and really, really want to read. So I do want to kind of limit my library use this year just because I feel like it got really out of hand last year. There's all these exciting books. I want to read them all. And with the library, it's so easy to go through and be like, oh, this is this new release. Let me get this and this and this. And then I've got a stack of physical books this big from the library while I've got 4 shelves, but the shelves don't have the urgency of a library book because you have to return the library book. Additionally, I do want to continue reading a lot of indie books this year. I don't want to give percentages this time because last time I had a lot of issues with definition of, is this an indie press? Is it a small press? Is it, what are we counting as an indie book versus not? And I felt that that was really confusing, and so I don't want to give numbers this time, but I still want to continue making sure that at least some of the books I read are independent publishers and independent authors. That's really important to me as an indie author myself. So those are kind of my reading goals. Oh, and add to that, I do want to make sure that I'm reading diversely, which I don't think is going to be a problem. I've been really doing good at that, but I want to make sure that I'm reading about people whose experiences are different than my own. And that has been a huge wake-up call with reading manga, is I don't know very much about Japanese culture, and oftentimes I have trouble understanding the manga I'm reading because people are so different than me and the traditions that I'm used to. And sometimes I'll read a manga and be like, I don't really understand this. And it's because of cultural stuff in a manga that I'm not used to. So yes, that's kind of a lower goal, but read with diversity so I can learn more about people. All right, so now on to the writing goals. These are the ones I'm most excited about. So we're going to count writing as anything related to my writing business. I would like to publish 4 books in 2025. I don't know if that's reasonable, but I know back in the past, there was a time in my life where I was publishing 4 books a year, and that felt very doable. The last couple years, I've done none or 1. And the thing is, I'm still writing, and I have all these books that are in different states of finished, that just need a little TLC. I just need to sit down and focus and get the books done. I have several that if I just sat down for like a week and worked on them, they would be where they need to be to send to my editor, but it's just a matter of doing that. So I do want to prioritize working on getting books ready to publish, and I'd like to put out 4 books in 2025. Fingers crossed, wish me luck. In addition to that, I want to make sure I'm writing at least 4 days a week. I have been really struggling with resistance recently, and so getting my butt in the chair to write has been hard. Sometimes I want to do everything but write, and that's not very useful when you're a writer. So I want to make sure I'm really focused this year on getting the writing done and doing that instead of all the other fun stuff I've been doing. And some of it isn't even like fun important. One of the challenges I've had is I've been playing mobile games a lot. And actually, a couple years ago, I ended up completely taking mobile games off my phone because I found it too distracting. It gave me something to do that wasn't goal oriented. Now, because I care about my mental health, I don't want to take the games off this time. I think they are a nice thing to have, and especially when I have downtime and my brain is just exhausted. I don't watch a lot of TV, so mobile games are a very accessible thing that I can do to kind of just zone out. Sometimes I even listen to audiobooks while I play mobile games. So I don't want to eliminate mobile games, but I definitely want to be able to get better at telling myself, okay, you can mobile game for an hour or you can mobile game after you write, but you cannot mobile game all day instead of doing the writing that you want to do. That's high on my goal list. I also want to get back to producing content that is writer related on my YouTube. When I first started this YouTube channel, it was very much meant to be writing stuff, but quickly I kind of ran out of steam with content because I'm in a lot of writing groups and I teach a lot of things, and I got bored and I decided I had a lot more enthusiasm for books that I was reading than writing stuff. But I think I want to return to my roots a little bit, and I want to intersperse writing content with the book content that I'm producing for this site. Because a YouTube channel can be more than one thing. And, I know I've added some weight loss content. Have added some stuff about rats because that's kind of my hyper focus right now. And I do like video and TV reviews sometimes, video game reviews. So guess what? Sometimes I'm going to talk about writer stuff. And I'd like to make that a priority in 2025 is talking more about writer stuff and engaging more with the author community on my social medias. The last writing related goal I have for 2025 is I want to experiment more with different kinds of marketing. And I will try to make videos about that and talk about that because marketing is something that I don't do nearly as much as I should. And it's something that I feel like I really need to do to grow my author business. So there you have it. Those are the things I'm working on in 2025. Please tell me your goals for 2025 in the comments below. This has been Jane. I'll see you next time. Have a great year. Bye.
Pictures and patterns put into words that stream across the page.